I think it started when you get to that age where you start being aware of your sort of stature and your look. You're like 17, 18. You get through that stupid phase where you think you know everything at 14, 15. And I was very aware of my size and how I looked. I was the only sort of Asian in my area. And I'm not the tallest. So when you start getting to that age, that social scene starts coming out, you start going out. I used to get quite a bit of grief, and I thought, I need to sort of do something about it. I walked into a gym and I just thought, I need to be bigger, I need to be better. I need to look like people shouldn't take the piss out of me. That's essentially what it was. And that was the sort of driver initially that made me walk in there. That was the main thing. Where I grew up, it's not a shit town. I'm not going to make out it's a shit place or anything like that. And it's like, I was the only sort of guy, any Asian guy. I'm Sri Lankan from descent, but no one understands that when they see you at that age. They just think, fuck it, just call you Paki and all that sort of shit. Whenever I was on my own, whenever I went out on my own in that space, you would always just be aware that that could happen at any point. And that was just a really like shit feeling to have. We moved about a lot when we were kids, and my mum got a job in Mexico where I'm from, and she was a doctor, she was a GP, she was fucking sick at what she did. And even then, when she was doing that job in that area, I can remember being out with her and her getting grief, and people would know what she did. People would know that she was there to make things better for other people. I think there's a standout moment. I think I was 5 years old, and I was down the high street with my mum. She was trying to book a holiday. She was trying to take us on holiday, something like that. And we were walking down the street, and there's this pub at our end called Bull's Head, it's called. And I know this guy, I fucking see him all the time still. And he stood up on this step, shouted, "You fucking black cunts, get the fuck out of here." And I was 4 years old. I was holding my mum's hand at the time. She was walking. She heard everything. Everyone in the street heard it. And I looked at him. I can remember I looked up at him, and I looked up at her, and she didn't look. She was fucking walking. I was walking down the street, got to the car, and she didn't say anything. All the way down, she didn't say anything at all. I was like, this is not right. And I could see her upset. And then she said something to me in the car, and she said, "What's just happened will happen all the time. It'll happen more than you expect. It'll happen more times you'll ever understand." She said, "You got to use that to move you forward. Don't let shit like that get you down." And I was like, I couldn't handle it at that age. I was like, what's the reason that guy's got so much venom in him? He thinks he needs to get up and fucking shout that. And that moment like sort of changed my life. As you get older, you become more aware about it. I used to ask my mum and dad to like do stuff social on a weekend and stuff like that. And they didn't really want it, and I didn't really get it. I didn't really understand why in that area. And over time, I started to understand it's because they were putting themselves in social situations where they were going to get that shit, and they just hid it from us. And that must have been rough for them to have to deal with that, to raise kids in an area like that, and to have to deal with that, and have to sort of say no to your kids about going to a park because they're fucking frightened you're going to get some racial shit. I'll do anything to not feel that. I'll do fucking anything to not feel that ever again. And then as you get into that age where you're getting older, you start drinking and all that sort of stuff, social situations and all that, I just became more aware of it, and I just thought, I don't want to deal with that shit. And I thought, really, it sounds stupid, but I thought, if I have a better stature, no one will take the piss out of me. And so that's how I set foot in the gym first. And that's when I started thinking I can do something in this. But that was the first time I went in the gym. Things sort of deviated after that. When I first set foot in the gym, Monday to Friday, chest, shoulders, Monday, back Tuesday, chest shoulders Wednesday, back Thursday, arms Friday, legs every other month. That's probably about it. And then you train for that Friday night out, 100%, no matter what anyone says. You train for that Friday night out, you train for that Saturday night out, whatever you got on. Yeah, if you're going out Saturday, you didn't get an extra training day in that week. You train 6 days. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. There was no structure to it. There was no methodology, no diet. No diet, just like train for a month and look in the mirror and it's like, why do I look exactly the same? So just train for longer. Just train for longer, that's all you do. You wouldn't train better. You just go from training for an hour to training for an hour and a half. Then 2 months later, no progress. Right, I'll train for 2 hours. Just still training like an idiot. Throwing weights about, not doing anything. I didn't have a clue about how to build muscle. I didn't have a clue. It was just all self-discovery. And I thought, I probably need to speak to somebody about some form of direction or coaching and stuff like that. So I approached the coach, went to him, and now as a coach myself, I came to him and I gave him the worst goals ever. I said, I want to be all these sort of 3-5 things. I want to be this hybrid of this athlete that's just massive and just fast, athletic, everything. And he just looked at me, he's like, we can't do that. He's like, pick one. And I was torn, so I said, well, we'll build muscle. And I trained with him when we were building muscle, but then on my own, I was doing my fitness stuff for football, because I just wanted to, I thought, fuck it. You can do everything, surely you can do everything. And you can't. You can't be elite, or you can't be at a certain level in everything. You're just gonna be average across the board at everything. My mother, she got sick. We found out she was unwell. She's a GP, so her sort of sole purpose was to look after everyone else. You never sort of think about someone that's got close to you, ever been fragile or anything like that. So there's like this unknown sort of over me. So I didn't really train, I didn't really play football. Football was the only outlet. I was playing football just to sort of switch off from that. I didn't know how to deal with it, man. She was saying at the time, because she knows, she's put patients through this, she's helped patients through this, she knows what chemo's like, she knows what all that's like. And she said initially, she said she didn't want to do any of that. She said, it's just too late. Like looking back on how she handled it, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe she had that sort of fortitude to handle it like that. She probably felt pressure from us to a degree of family, and like started going through chemo and all that. And obviously it didn't pan out very well. In August, she passed away. And it just fucked me up, man. I can remember when we were kids in like my classes and that, you say, oh, your life's mint, your mum's a doctor, you've got loads of money and all that sort of shit. It's bollocks, because she had like an insanely hard life. In Sri Lanka, we're the minority. There's Tamils and there's Sinhalese, we're Tamils. And there was a civil war going off for like, fucking hell, like 25 years. So when she came out here, all her family was back home dealing with the civil war. And she's devoted her life to helping other people. And then I couldn't fucking understand why she got sick. And it just happened like that. It's like, everyone talks about karma and stuff like that. And I thought, this is absolute fucking bollocks. When she passed away, I was like, this is just so unjust. It's like, it burned me. And to be fair, like even now, she passed away in 2013, it still fucks me off. I was like a bit lost after that. And I needed like a way to sort of ground myself. So I was losing focus with everything. I worked for a phone company, like call centers, managing loads of staff. And I just went big on that. And I didn't have the discipline, so I went in, I spoke to this coach, and I said I want to do something I've never done before. And I want to do a photo shoot. So I spoke to Chris Bailey and did this shoot. And I found that when I was training, I could train and not think about stuff. I could train, I could go to the gym, and you can't focus too much when you're training. When you're lifting heavy weights and stuff like that, it sounds stupid, but you genuinely can't think of anything other than that, otherwise you're gonna hit yourself in the face with a dumbbell. And I just found that really cathartic. It was a way to sort of go in, boom, and that sort of unjust feeling, that feeling that still fucking burns me, about what happened to her, I was able to use it. I could use it in a way that I could sort of target my frustration or aggression or frustration, whatever you want to call it, into that work, into that set. And that's why I started to fucking love training. That's why I started to get a passion for bodybuilding. That's why I started to think, I fucking love doing this. And then other than my sort of social life away from like my missus and all that, nothing else gave me that sort of, that feeling. I was in that sort of typical rat race that everyone's in their life, where you go into a job and you think you got to climb the ladder. And because everything that happened, I just thought, I need to be successful. So I used bodybuilding in the morning, train at 6 a.m. to sort of get my shit out. And then I'd go to work and I'd think, right, be elite, like climb this ladder. You want to be like an MD, you want to be a guy, you want to be like a director. You need to fucking go and do this. But it was ruthless. We were talking about a massive mobile phone network. We're talking about loads of money, millions of pounds a month worth of revenue, all that. So I started to fucking lose my shit a bit with people. And I started to make decisions and stuff and act in certain ways that I'd sometimes come away from it and be like, is that me? And there's one time I can remember, we were in this board meeting and I ran a really big account. I'm not sort of just saying it to blow smoke up my house. I ran a big account. And I've gone into this board meeting and just fucking gone nuts in front of all these people. My boss, directors and all that sort of stuff. And everyone's at the same level. It's not like anyone's underneath. And I've fucking gone mental. I've gone mental, and I was like, and I'm saying this stuff in front of all these people, and then they had to sort of pause the meeting. My boss, who's my client now, actually, he'll watch this and he'll laugh. And he had to pause the meeting, take everyone out, and he took me into this other room. And there was this tiny desk, there's a roommate, fucking box room, about 6 foot by 6 foot. He stood on one side, I'm stood on the other. There's this desk there. He's a director. I got my sort of line manager there, and we're fucking going at it. If there's desk in there, we're fucking tearing lumps out of each other, like knocking fuck out of each other. And I left that day, and I can remember getting in my car, and I sat in my car in the car park and just thought, what the fuck have you just done? What the fuck was that? You don't need to do that. I like helping people. I like developing people. That's like my passion. I love that. I like bodybuilding. And I was sat in the car and I was thinking, right, get these together. Get these two things together, because you don't need that shit. The change for me that sort of changed my life is that sort of injustice that happened with my mum. I fucking still struggle to talk about it now. If somebody wants to have a big conversation with me about my mother, it'll either have to be right time, right place, or I might have had to have a few beers. But now I use that, and like I'm in a space where I can help people, and her legacy was to help people. Her legacy was, she did everything to help me and my brother and my dad, and to help people in her space. And like, she was a doctor, she had all these accolades, but none of that's really relevant. What's relevant is what she left, the impression she left on me, my brother, her patients, all these people around her. And that's when I realised about myself, that no matter what I achieve in life, all these accolades, or these titles and all that, what's relevant is the legacy I leave. What's relevant is the legacy I leave with other people. And that's what I want to do. That's why I am where I am now. And that's my focus, that's my driver. So yeah, legacy is important. And it goes beyond titles. It's your impact on people. I can give somebody a body transformation. I can do that. But no, he made me look at things differently. He made me believe in myself when I had no belief, right? And you see that guy, you see that person 6 months later, and they got nothing but gratitude for you, and that motivates you to do more for people.